Thank you. Ed did an amazing job hosting Montreal. I just want to tell you, he had hair before we hosted the Masters event, and mine was straight. So I invite you, Canada did host 5 Fina events last year. They're amazing partners. If you want to, there's lessons learned from all of us. I do encourage you to do it. But I'm not here to talk to you about that today. I am here to talk to you as sport leaders about the future of the sport of what has been known as synchronized swimming. I've got technology here. No? There we go. Up. Okay. Synchro is a sport of business, and you can see where it started many years ago with Esther Williams and where we are today. The question we need to ask ourselves and think about is, the name of the sport is synchronized swimming. Does it really affect what we're doing today? It's an amazing sport, athletic sport, powerful sport. Areas I'm going to talk about quickly, and I'm going to do a bit of speed dating. I'm sliding here along because we're tight for time, is the vision of where this sport is going. And of course, with vision is accountability. This is a judge sport. Judge sports can have a perception of challenge within the media, within the world. So we're going to talk a bit about that, of where the opportunity is in the future and how we can better perhaps manage that. And of course, we're going to talk about technology and where it plays a role. The vision for the sport is to, first of all, think differently. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We are not insane sports leaders. You are all sports leaders out there. So we're going to develop grassroots in a global program. Everybody is going to want to be a synchronized swimmer. Sorry divers, sorry swimmers, but we're coming after you. Water polo players too. We're going to develop innovative festivals and events that are changing. And of course, we're going to have a transparent and credible judging system. We need education programs for not only the coaches, but our officials. It is the coaches that drive the sport, and the two must work together in unison. Like any sport, we're going to be athlete-centered. And most importantly, the entire Fina Synchro family will work together, supporting the events, ensuring that we're there competing and selling our product. Even in a larger view, the entire Aquatics family can work together as we build events together. The TSSE, these are my colleagues on the TSSE. They just met in Quebec City a couple of months ago as we hosted the Synchronized World Cup. Their job is to monitor and evaluate. And what does that mean? It means they want to provide information to you and to the federations to make informed decisions and improve the understanding of the sport. They have put together plans. Our chair, Chi-Chi, who is unfortunately not here at the moment, she's a great leader and visionary. She decided she needed to be a good leader and put committees together with expertise that would help her. So we have 4 committees. They are the Public Relations Committee, we have the Coaches Committee, and we have a Judges Committee and a Development Committee. That's all fine and well. What the heck do they do? Going to go quickly through this. The purpose of the Public Relations Committee, of course, is to share information. We realize that we need to do a better job communicating what we're doing. We put together a strategy. What we did was we put a template together where each committee had to design their goal and create an action plan so that the commission could hold us accountable. We need to stay connected to the community, and we also decide to create a newsletter. Our first newsletter went out just before this event, and its goal was we wanted to add a new event, and it's a mixed event, which thank you very much. You all approved at the Doha Congress 2 days ago, so we achieved our first goal with sharing information with you. These will be continuing to come out, so you will be informed. And we're very excited to have men in the sport. It is available in Kazan. If anybody out there can really egg beater, come talk to us. We also have a communication strategy because part of any sport is we must listen and know the hot topics out there. We know what you're talking about. You're talking about judging difficulty. You're talking about the Olympic Games strategy. Do we have one? Do we need one? You're talking about all the teams that are attending the World Cup and the World Synchronized Trophy meet. Talking about supporting Fina events and how you get support within your federation to support them. You're talking about a qualification process, and does it work? You're talking about the credibility of a judged sport and what can we do differently. And you're talking about the use of technology, and if you're not talking about that, you need to be talking about it. The Judges Committee, their purpose is to ensure the development and the education of the Fina synchronized swimming and make sure they have the tools necessary. One of the things of the action plan of this Judges Committee is to conduct surveys and feedback to make sure that we are offering your athletes the best experience out there. We want to provide timely and statistical feedback. We don't want to give you feedback 6 months after, because quite frankly, we all live busy lives, and who can remember that far? We want to coordinate a scoring program that Fina will approve and that we all use together so we're working from the same system. We also want to look at a judging difficulty meeting that will be happening in the United States in the early part of January. We believe that this is an opportunity to use technology. Difficulty in the sport of synchronized swimming is technical elements that can be defined. We believe, we don't know how, my new friend here that I met, he might be able to give us some insight, that the technology is there to clearly define how high the athlete went in a boost or a porpoise, so that the judge would not be giving that mark. The judge's job would then be doing the synchronized swimming and perhaps the artistic ability of this sport. Technology is going to be everywhere in sport, and this is a leading edge sport, and we believe it is ready to take it to the next level. We need technology in the event, in the delivery. We need all of you as leaders to tweet and talk about it, take selfies, and talk about how great all of the aquatic sports are together. Also, technology is ready for the athletic performance. There's a multi-platform delivery. We all know about it. It's been talked about widely at this event. How we're going to do it, will it be possible in the future to perhaps be hosting a Synchro World Cup in Quebec City and have a stage watching it in Italy. By 2020, the New York Times analysis said that people will think of performance enhancement like the way we look at LASIK eye surgery or hip replacements. There are Google Glasses available. Will there be Google goggles available? And what will they do for us? Will they give the fans and the athlete a new point of view that allows fans to see the experience of the sport and what an athlete is doing throughout their performance? Officials could have the instant access to endless amounts of footage to determine a score or a penalty. Coaches could help them better define the gaps and the analysis in the team's performance. I think it's there, and we must use it. The question we must ask ourselves is, are we ready for it? Are we brave enough to do it? We must think differently, and it's not an attitude, it is your new norm. It is called vision. It is time to change the game, ladies and gentlemen. Progress is impossible without those who cannot change their minds, and they cannot change anything. So I'm asking you to be change the game leaders. Both our internal and our external stakeholders must share our vision, the IOC, the media, the federations, and your funding partners. We know you have to go and explain your sport for funding. We must make it relative and entertaining. We also have a development committee. Of course, their job is to help develop the sport from grassroots to the highest level. And all begins with a dream and an action plan. My question to you is, considering where the sport has gone and where we want to take it, is perhaps the name synchronized swimming really telling us what they're doing in the water? As we're building it, we're also creating buddies and partner systems around the world. We want to develop countries to work with countries that are developing, so you're not spending your time reinventing your wheel. We have available to you programs at the very beginning level. There are only 45 countries in the federations in the world that are teaching synchronized swimming. We believe we have tools and we want to help you. So please don't hesitate to ask us, and we will provide you with the opportunity. At the bottom level, you can see our little artistic swimmers. The sport is competing against many sports today, so we must package the sport so it is relevant, so parents will choose our sport. Do we need to bundle it into gymnastics, ballet, and artistic swimming? When I was on the board of directors of Synchro Canada, one of the coaches at a club in Ontario died, and they decided they wanted to partner with breast cancer. And what this little club did of 40 people has gone now through the entire province. Every month of October, they do a Burning Bright fundraising event with breast cancer and the Synchronized Swimming Club. They pass the torch for an hour, they get funding, and they get incredible publicity about it. So that is one way we can help raise our profile and raise the game of artistic swimming. We must ask ourselves the question, should we design a synchro circuit at the top level? Can it be attached to existing events like the German Open, the French Open, and end up at the Synchro World Trophy Cup for perhaps some money. Do we want an Olympic Games qualification point system? And do we need it? Or is it okay to be a sport that doesn't really compete and collect points? I think if we want to remain relevant and competitive in the world today, we must do this. Do we want 10 teams in the Olympic Games? Many of you come to us and tell us we need more teams, we need 12 teams. We're not equitable. We agree with you. We know we need more teams, but we need your help to help us get there, because we cannot get 10 teams in the Olympic Games if we don't have 10 teams in the Synchro World Cup or the Synchro Trophy. Do we want additional events in the Olympic Games? Yes, we do, but then we must support those events out in the Fina circuit. Is our current Olympic game qualification process out of date? The 5 continental championships plus 3 teams added? Do we really get the best of the best? Is this the best for the sport? There is a formula that works. We are allowed 104 athletes. If we chose together to speak in one voice and talk to your federations and lobby, you could have 10 teams of 8, 10 duets come from those teams, additional 12 duets. We have 24 duets now, you would have 22, but you would have 10 teams. But we also together have to work and talk to our federations and our Olympic committees. The Coaches Committee is basically one of the most important committees, as the sport is driven by coach. They're the ones that are on the deck every day, so we must engage them in our process and work together as we create action plans to increase this sport. Some of the things that they're doing, and I'm doing my speed dating here through the whole program. Finally, the Fina family working together. I think we can do it. In the province that I'm from, Alberta, there's basically 4 million people in the entire province. Amateur sport, I'm sure like you, is very challenging. It is hard to get promotion. It is hard to get funding. It's not an easy thing for sport. But it is doable. We have Joe Media, who went to the Alberta government, the media fund, with the amateur sports, and they were able to put a package together to help us together.
The game has changed. The Alberta Media Fund has now expanded to include amateur sport. So what exactly does that mean? That means, under the new AMF rules, if you bring your amateur sporting event to Alberta, Joe Media can help you access up to 30% of your production budget. Imagine your event being produced for television or live streamed to the web. That's worldwide. While we're at it, we could profile your athletes, leverage sponsorships, and promote the event itself. Get the word out. We can, and even your future athletes, start them young. It's simple. Come to Alberta, we'll help you bring your game to the next level. You do sports, we do sports. Go live, get seen, game on. Visit joemediagroup.com/sports.
So in conclusion, we're asking you to redefine the sport, rebrand it as artistic swimming. This is a sport that now includes both genders. It is a sport that is a transparent and accountable judging system and a competition structure that we will support together, and it is newsworthy and something that people want to talk about it. We thank you as sport leaders for championing it, and we look forward to working with everybody.